Good morning, everyone. I will be presenting anterior uveitis in HIV, playing Sherlock Holmes. There are no financial disclosures to declare, and there are no conflicts of interest. The aim is to highlight the possibilities that should be thought of while managing anterior uveitis in HIV, and to bring out rifabutin as an important cause of anterior uveitis with hypopyon in patients of HIV who are on prophylaxis, rifabutin prophylaxis for Mycobacterium avium complex. Also, to emphasize the importance of review of medical and treatment records while evaluating anterior uveitis in HIV. So we had 3 patients of HIV who presented to us with anterior uveitis. All 3 had photophobia, ocular pain, watering, and diminution of vision. They underwent a thorough ocular and systemic evaluation, and a battery of blood investigations were done in all 3 of them. On detailed review of the medical records, the 2 of the patients out of the 3, the first 2 cases had a recent increase in the CD4 count, and all the 3 patients were on tablet rifabutin 300 mg prophylaxis for Mycobacterium avium complex infection. Since the first 2 patients had a recent increase in the CD4 count, we were under the impression that the patients had immune recovery uveitis. We started the patients on ocular steroids and cycloplegic, ocular steroids in the form of eye drop pred acetate 6 times a day and cycloplegic atropine 3 times a day. Later on, rifabutin was discontinued after the physician's consent. These were the investigations that all the 3 patients had undergone. This is the clinical picture of patient 1, 2, and 3. So in case 1, both the eyes were eventually involved in all the 3 patients, but the involvement was asymmetric. I could not include all the pictures because of the time constraints. There was exudative uveitis in all the 3 patients. In case 1, the hypopyon was 0.5 millimeters. In case 2, about 1 millimeter hypopyon. And in case 3, also the hypopyon was 1 millimeter. There was pupillary membrane also seen in case 2 and 3. There were, of course, there was flare cells in the anterior chamber also. Coming to the discussion and results, anterior uveitis could be due to infections. It could be because of immune recovery uveitis, drug-induced uveitis, or an endogenous ophthalmitis may also give a picture of anterior uveitis. Uveitis due to increased immunocompetency in HIV is termed as immune recovery uveitis. Rifabutin-associated ocular inflammation may be seen in patients of HIV. All the patients were on heart and rifabutin, and all had anterior uveitis. So we observed a moderate improvement, which was not really satisfactory after starting ocular steroids and cycloplegics. However, the patients had mild symptomatic relief, but all the 3 patients showed significant improvement of signs and symptoms following discontinuation of rifabutin. Initially, for the first 2 patients, it was difficult to rule out IRU as they had associated improvement of the CD4 count. So to conclude, a high index of suspicion should be kept while managing anterior uveitis in HIV towards both IRU and rifabutin-induced uveitis. And in HIV patients on Mycobacterium avium complex prophylaxis, rifabutin is a rare but a very important cause of exudative anterior uveitis. These are a few of my references. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Question, Dr. Sumedha.
Yeah, nice talk, Dr. Sumedha.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to know what were the fundus findings and other things, you know, anything in your record?
I will tell you, sir. In the first patient, the one with 0.5 millimeter hypopyon, we caught it quite earlier. We started the treatment quite earlier. There were not many fundus findings, sir. In patient 2 and 3 with the pupillary membrane, there was spillover uveitis in the posterior segment also seen. However, there was no retinal involvement or cystoid macular edema.
Okay. I have one question. Have you done HLA-B27 in these cases?
All the cases HLA-B27 was done.
Okay, great.
And I mean, can you completely, how common is this rifabutin-induced anterior uveitis? What is the incidence in literature?
So the incidence in literature for rifabutin-induced uveitis is not much. They say that 0.5% of the patients present with rifabutin-induced uveitis, that too with high doses of rifabutin. That is about 1200 milligram of rifabutin for the treatment of Mycobacterium avium complex and not prophylaxis. It is very commonly seen in cidofovir. About 50% of the patients with cidofovir present with anterior uveitis.
Okay, then how do you differentiate whether the improvement post-treatment was due to stopping rifabutin or putting steroids, and because there is no comparison that way, it's just
like I said, yeah, it is a case series of 3 cases. Initially, it was a diagnostic conundrum. We were under a dilemma. The patients could be having immune recovery uveitis. We did start them on steroids and cycloplegic. Initially, we did not think of a rifabutin-induced induced uveitis. Unless we probed the medical records, we saw the treatment history, and we did not have a satisfactory improvement to the steroids and cycloplegics. So we decided to discontinue rifabutin. Initially, we did not even think of it because rifabutin was started in 300 milligram dose, which is too small to cause a uveitis. However, after discontinuation in all the 3 patients, there was a dramatic improvement.
Right, but it would be a good beginning to a much larger study, with much larger numbers, so that you can attach a significance value to
I
it.
agree, sir.
Very nice.